What is going on, you dead set legends? And welcome to the Ready Bang, the #1 arm wrestling show in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and as you can see, we've got one of the biggest and the baddest guests to come on the show. And you can look behind him, and he's got all the trophies you can think of. But there's one trophy that eludes him, and it's the 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm third place amateur, 80 to 95 kilo left arm. You know, people try and claim victory, but there's just this one here. Even though the 80 to 95 kilo category, my guest has probably taken bigger shits than that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction, but I have to give him one. The man has won the world's strongest man four times and stopped because he was bored. And now he has come over to arm wrestling, and we are grateful. And we've got a huge event happening at the Shore Classic, East versus West, August 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man, Brian Shaw. Brian, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man, this is great. I think it is a great opportunity, to have some fun and promote the event and have a good time.
Oh, mate, and a good time we will. I'll say hi to everyone a little bit later on in the program, guys. You know I love my fan interaction, so we'll get some Brian questions later. First of all, mate, two things I've got to ask. One's a relatively nice question, and one's probably a not so nice question. When you're standing there going with your strongman days, and you're standing there and you're announced as the world's strongest man, how does that feel? Because literally no one else on the planet is stronger than you at what you do. Like, what's that feeling? Like, there's no one better than you. There's no comparison. It's you.
I mean, in all fairness, it's a pretty surreal feeling, and especially as you build up, because you're putting in all the training and time and effort and everything that goes into being at that type of level. So you're 100% dedicated. You're just living it day in and day out. And so to go to the contest and perform and to win, to walk out on top. I mean, it's a very, very, it's a hard feeling to describe, I think, overall. I mean, it's obviously winning it one time is one thing, and coming back and doing it again multiple times is much more challenging. It's much harder to do. So I think that, every one of them for me had different meaning for sure. And, at the Shaw Classic, we actually run the strongest man on earth. So I bought that trademark, and that's the contest that we run now, where, it's different than World's Strongest Man. World's Strongest Man, has gone through different phases. I'll put it that way. Like different weights that the guys lift, different formats of the contest. They've kind of changed around a little bit. And for me, it was always about the biggest weights and proving without a doubt who is the strongest. And so, this is just the way that I think a proper strongman contest should be run. So we have a field of 16 over 2 days. We do 8 events. They're heavy, they're hard. There's, no, you're not going to find anybody that's going to say that this is not the heaviest and hardest contest. So whoever wins, is the strongest man on earth. And so, for me, my last contest was actually in 2023, where I won the strongest man on earth. So, and I called it before that I was done. That was my last one. And so to walk out and win that contest, at that point against much younger guys, like another generation of competitors, was pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, but what's not awesome, mate? I can't fathom this. I like you, Brian. You're a nice guy and everything. But how on earth do you organise the Shore Classic? That's your event. It's literally named after you. You run it, and you come second twice. Mate, you've got this. It's all you. You organise the athletes. You're supposed to bring people that are weaker than you, and just go, hey, excuse me, mate, can you check yourself? Check yourself. You get the You're not being a very good guest. It's like someone coming to your house and keeping their shoes on. What's going on? Twice.
Yeah, look. I mean, I actually picked events that were harder for me in many instances, and I wanted the best to come. I mean, because that's what if you're going to win. Yeah, of course you could try to rig the contest and set it up and be like, oh look how great I did, but I wanted that challenge. I mean, that's for sure what I wanted, and so to have those second places, like it was close, but it's also for me. I don't think, and no, to be fair, like I don't even really like saying this, but it's so incredibly difficult to run the contest, to organize the contest, to get the equipment ready, to organize everybody's flights and travel, and do all of the stuff that it takes to put on the event. That, in all fairness, me even competing in the event was something else. So to do well when I'm running on lack of sleep and like so much stress that like it, my blood pressure, whatever, like all that stuff, to be able to be successful was really, really cool. And so looking back, in all fairness, I don't know how I did that. Even the second place, like I don't know. It's honestly it's ridiculous. So I mean, this year, to be fair, is pretty much no different. Like it's even worse this year.
Oh my God! First of all, let's go straight into that. Like, of course, it's even worse this year because we're very lucky that someone of your caliber goes, let's give this arm wrestling thing a go. And when you first walk in the door, the roses, they're beautiful, and the red carpet comes out for you, Brian, and we're like, we love you, and you're like, this is brilliant. How about we just I'm going to have some arm wrestling at the Strongest Man on Earth. Yeah. And then like a freight train, arm wrestling's biggest shit show unfolds. Oh, man, I've seen you on some other podcasts and things like that, and you just look exhausted from the garbage that's been going on.
It's, it's one of those things where, we had it planned. I was already going to do it. I was already going to do the arm wrestling. So we came up with it'd be cool to call it the Strongest Arm on Earth. So it went right in line with Strongest Man on Earth. And I was like, all right, cool. We'll organize, the best matches that we can. We'll have a great time and put on the event. So everything was already in place. And basically, the way that it happened is I was just told that the venue in Baku had fallen through, which seemed, like obviously that might happen and, no problem, whatever. And so I was like, oh, this could be a really cool collaborative thing to do together. And so, that's how I walked into it. I didn't quite realize like everything that was going on. And in all fairness, I still don't know if I completely understand what's going on. It's a tough one, man. It's like I don't know. I think that what I will say is, as I want to control what I can control. And so, when it comes to the way the arm wrestling event is going to run, it's going to run great, right? And our number one thing is to take care of the athletes. So and this was on the strongman side. It was always by the athletes and for the athletes. And my biggest goal with this is to number one, have it run smooth. Number two, we're taking care of the athletes, their treatment from start to finish, of when they arrive to how they're treated during the event and afterwards. All of that needs to be handled 100%. And on top of that, for the fans that come in, the live stream production. So we're just bringing our production team over from what we would use for Strongest Man on Earth. So we'll have the production truck there. They're top of the line. It just doesn't get any better than what they can do. And so I'm very excited about that. We've had meeting after meeting about how to make it right. And, again, to make this a good collaborative effort. I in some instances, I wish that I could make every single call and I was 100%, but obviously I need to defer to East versus West and Robert Baxter and Dexter Tan to say like, hey, what do you guys want to bring in? What do we want to do? And, there's a lot of areas of improvement that I want to have happen. And so that's kind of what I've been pushing for, is certain things just being cleaned up a little bit, and I'm more, and all the arm wrestlers will find that out when they get here, but I'm more of here's the black and white, right? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're not going to do. And this is how
you're an adult.
Yes. Well, you need to, you got to have that. You got to have that. So we're going to, it's going to be, I'm going to bring a lot of what happens with the strongman over to the arm wrestling, right? So we'll have the rules meeting. It's going to be very direct, and the rules with the referees, they're going to be empowered to enforce all those rules. And I think it's going to be really good, man. With everything that's gone down, it's easy. I think it's easy to get caught up in the turmoil of what's happening in the drama. And, I think that, as I said in the video that I made, that I put out, we need to be transparent. You have to be transparent about what's going on and what's happening, and what, especially for the fans, what the fans can expect from the event, and so, we had our matches. They brought in and organized kind of like the East versus West side of it. Yeah. And so I know for like high level arm wrestling fans, there's been some comments about, well, the card is underwhelming, or, they don't think that all of it, but the fact is,
those dickheads.
Yeah, half of the matches were already organized. I had already done that. And yes, there's some guys that are coming from Strongman that I think are actually going to be really entertaining to watch. But, I get it, right? Like if you're expecting like everything to be a best in the world type of match, that's not it. But I think that from an entertainment perspective, and if you're a fan of the sport, I think what you're going to get with this is going to be absolutely incredible. And in all fairness, I think there's some super high level matches.
Absolutely.
That are going down. I think it's, at the end of the day, like I said, I can only be in control what I can be in control of. And with this event, that is a lot. That's a lot. So I plan on, I've been super hands-on, and that's probably why, you're saying like a lot of people are noticing that I'm just kind of tired or maybe a little bit more stressed out or whatever. But, I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to make this right, because it's like once I gave my word that this is what we were going to do. Now,
great video, by the way.
I'm not gonna back down, right? Like I'm not gonna throw it in and say, okay, well, things seem to not be going great, or I don't understand, or I'm not being communicated with, or whatever. Like I need to know, and then I need to be in control of it. And that's the thing is I'm going to be, and I want to take that on, right? Like, and I at the end of it, if the fans, number one, the athletes can walk away and say, hey, I was treated well, I had a great time, this was an awesome event. That's what I want, right? Win, lose, or draw for everybody. And then from the fans' perspective, as long as they say whether they're able to come in person, which I think will be incredible, and we can talk about the seating and how it's going to be different and all that, but in person, I think is going to be incredible. And then also the live stream, people that support the live stream, I want them to walk away and say, wow, that I spent that money and I got a great product. I'm very happy with what I got. And you that's essentially, it's yes, of course, it's supporting the event, and we need the people to support it. At the end of the day, like you are nothing without the athletes, but you're also nothing without the fans. Like you have to have the fans, you have to have them, and you have to listen to them, you have to interact with them, and listen to what they're saying. And yes, some comments are not going to be nice, and some are going to be wonderful, and you'll find that middle ground. But I think that I've tried to come in as a fan first, right? So I've watched quite a bit of arm wrestling, and I've seen different things, and there's some things that I've kind of wanted to correct, and I think that we're able to take those steps without changing the rules, without manipulating anything, but it's just making it a better experience for everybody involved.
Oh, it will be, mate. It will be. I got a few questions following that up. We'll just quickly say hi to some legends in the chat, including Neil Pickup. He is hanging around, watching. He's up and about, including Dinkalicious, Benji Max here, but more importantly, Brian's Pronator has arrived. He's ready to go. He's talking. He's got his own YouTube. Brian will run from
Wonderful.
me. Everyone's all having a chat with each other. The Arminian one, so Short Classic, will be a fantastic stream and event. Thank you very much to the Lucky Ones podcast. Go check that out. An all-female arm wrestling show. Lucky's doing amazing things there. Ready, bang. This show is going to be, quote Brian Shaw, great. It's going to be amazing.
I love it.
A bit behind in the comments. Yeah, look, for me, someone that can pull a plane or deadlift cars, yeah, I don't think you're going to be too scared of comments or, or take things half-ass, when it comes to preparing events. But on a scale of 1 to 10, regret with everything.
I don't. That's a very good question, right? Like I think that the arm wrestling side of this has been harder than what I imagined, right? Like I thought it would be much easier, in all fairness, than the strongman, because strongman, you've got the big heavy equipment, you've got to reset like different things, and with an arm wrestling side, it's a table. You have referees and a table and competitors, so you're not changing anything in between matches or anything like that. So I thought it would be easier, and in all fairness, it should be. It should be easier. Easier to do. And we're going to get there. I mean, I saw, like, obviously Neil pick up commenting there. Neil's coming in. He's going to help a ton on production, and I feel like with some of the production meetings, those have been super, super beneficial for us, but also for them on their side, because a lot of ideas are getting thrown around. And I think that collaboratively, if we can bring out the best on both sides, new ideas, stuff that has worked really well in the past, and we just kind of branch that together. So I'm not going to say regret. I don't want to use the word regret, but also it's been more of a challenge. It's been tougher than I wanted, for sure.
Now, just, if you look at the history of arm wrestling, mate, just so you're aware, if we're lucky enough and you include arm wrestling again, it's not always a shit show like this.
No, I've heard that this is pretty bad. Yeah.
One last thing before we get stuck into the event, I just need to know the comparison. You deal with 200 kilo blokes. They're pulling trucks. They're throwing Atlas stones. You're throwing, 100 kilos, 7 meters in the air. So you deal with some tough dudes. The throwing the toys out the cot, crybabies that has happened from the Eastern European side of it, does that happen in strongman, or have you and your buddies just kind of gone, yeah, what's going on here? for some big, strong dudes, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I don't, again, like I said, I don't know it exactly. Like I'm so new to this, and I think it's fair to say that, just, I don't know a lot of the history of all of it. I like to think that, for me personally, I have a good relationship with all the guys that I've met and interacted with from anywhere, right? So Levon and I have been able to talk, quite a bit, and have a good relationship. I was able to talk to Hermes quite a bit. Alex, I got to meet in Chicago. Obviously he's coming over. That was great. I mean, all of the guys that I've met and interacted with, I think that's all been positive. And so I would like to think, from my side, at least, there's, very good terms, right, with everything. Yeah. So I don't know the backstory of everything else. And so that's what is frustrating to me. Even Vitaly, right? Like, I was right in the middle of that as well. And I was having great conversations with his manager, trying to facilitate and make that happen. I thought it would be a great way to kind of bridge everything back together, hopefully a little bit. And it just ended up not working out. And I don't know why exactly it didn't, because it seemed like for a day or two there, it was actually going to happen. And so I don't know, again, I don't know the whole backstory, but it's, you know, it's strongman. Yes, guys get frustrated, you know, that type of thing. And certain events, like whether there's a bad call or the way that it's run or like those type of things. But, you know, what you don't have in strongman is you don't have like a contract. Athlete does not have a contract to say, hey, I'm only competing with this organization or this competition. So what that breeds is all of the contests in a way have to be better to attract the top athletes to come compete. So, you know, they tried it in strongman back in like 2004, 2005, and they tried to sign a bunch of the guys and get them, you know, it was kind of like a split, right? So the split happened where some guys stayed at World's Strongest Man and a lot of them left to this new organization. And then that organization ended up folding, but it was bad because it was a split in the sport and you want to see the best against the best. So, you know, I don't 100% know what the answer is, but, you know, for me, selfishly, I guess, and probably the same for a lot of the fans, like I would love to have everything get figured out and the top guys be able to go against the top guys. And you have a very, you know, respectful competition that's happening where everybody feels like they're being treated fairly. And, you know, that's the way that it's being done. And so I don't exactly know what the answer is. I mean, yeah,
I can tell you the answer.
I think that I could communicate with a lot of the guys, and I think that would be something. But I don't know that I don't have that time and power. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But I want that with me getting into the sport. I want that as well. Like I want to have that stage and platform, and wherever that is, it needs to be there though, because you want to see the best and it's the best. So
and the answer, Brian, is you. Stay you. The way you have gone about your introduction to arm wrestling, your mindset, like coming from a 4-time world's strongest man to go, hey, I know I'm not going to be the best and steamroll everyone in arm wrestling, but I'm going to give it a go. To the way that you've approached situations, to the way the Shore Classics run. If you keep being you, the best in the world will come. You've shown us with the Shore Classic and the strongest man on earth, and it will happen in arm wrestling. If you do things your way, the Brian Shaw way, and not adhere to anyone else like you always do, that's the answer, mate. You have shown us how to do it with class and precision and everything like that. That's all. If you want the best in the world, you give it time. It's only been 4 weeks in Chicago, and everyone's saying arm wrestling's all over and shit. Shut up. Just let Brian do his thing. And, you know, and they'll come, mate. They'll come because you've already seen a few people change their mind. They're like, oh, hang on. Brian Shaw's got 2.2 million subscribers. Eddie Hall's got over 3 million subscribers. Maybe there's something going on here. Oh, Brian Shaw's actually very delightful to deal with, and everyone loves him. So every single person in this chat, I know is going to buy the pay-per-view, and I know every single person that watches this podcast is seeing how you handle things, and they're going to buy the pay-per-view as well. This is going to be good, and you will do what happened at King of the Table 5. It was it was Dave Chafee v. Vitali 1. And everyone's like, the card's not that good. Oh, it's a bit mediocre. They go on to have the greatest match of all time, and they sell a bunch of pay-per-views afterwards, and I can see that happening with you, mate. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll roll into the event because I'll get to a couple of comments first.
Yeah.
Because you have stupid amount of pressure on your big bloody shoulders at the moment. And I'll tell you why in a minute, Brian. I'll tell you why. I'll quickly, quick question, Brian. Will there be afterpool with the strongmen and the arm wrestlers?
I mean, right now there will be an arm wrestling table there or around. So I don't know if a lot of times when you have a table and you have athletes around, that tends to happen. So but there's nothing organized officially.
There you go. Beautiful. Quick chat here from Ryan Bowen. Long time no see, my man. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to your matchup, Ryan. Stay patient and trust your hand.
I think that I think that's great advice. I think it's think through the match and not get in a hurry, not try to rush anything. And especially with Brandon Allen, I think that's going to be really, really come into play for sure.
Now, Brian, hang on. You've frozen a bit, Brian. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just seems a bit frozen on my end. Well, hopefully the internet picks it up a bit. Let me check because if it's just my stream, then let's see.
I can hear you. Okay.
I think it's coming good now. It's coming good. Okay, brilliant. Right. We got Brian back. Now, you're taking on Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen ruined arm wrestling the first time someone come over, hand-picked opponent. Larry Wheels goes, we'll get Brandon Allen. He's a competitor. He likes to arm wrestle. He comes from strongman, and we're all buddies and things like that. And then Brandon Allen, you son of a bitch, filthy power. No, I love Brandon. But he's come in and he's ruined arm wrestling. Ruined it. So then Larry cops an Al at his own event. And I'm getting dizzy, Brian. I'm getting deja vu dizziness because the Shore Classic, that's your event. And you're taking on Brandon Allen. What weapons have you got for my man Brandon?
Look, I wanted a challenge, right? Like that's I didn't want to pick a match where it was kind of a foregone conclusion. Actually, ironically enough, my first choice that we were trying to work through was actually Magnus Samuelsson. So that was going to be, and Magnus he was very interested actually. And he had some type of issue with his shoulder that he didn't feel confident with. So that was the first one. And then I threw it out to Larry Wheels as well. He didn't want any part of it. So then it was Brandon. And I texted Brandon, and to his fairness, he took it right away. He was like, "Yes, I'm in."
Brandon's a jet. He's not scared of anything.
Yeah, and apparently was cutting and immediately started eating again. Yeah, man, look, he's tricky, like as everybody's talking about. And I think that, for him, I've got a lot of different lanes, a lot of options for him. And I think really, it's the hand and wrist, man. I think I'm going to be so dominant in the hand and wrist that if I'm patient and I execute well, and get him where I need to get him. I don't think that he's got a lot there. It's if I get caught up, especially get caught up in his King's move, and I start to panic, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to drive through this. But I think that the thing that I do have, if I need to fall back on it, is a press. So that will open up if I need it to open up. And it's one of those things that actually, of anything, maybe has felt the most natural to me to fall back on. So it's, again, it's one of those things there's a lot of things in the arsenal right now that I'm thinking about. And, depending on what I feel and where we go, I think that there's a lot of options for me. And I think that once Brandon feels my hand, once we grip up and he feels like what's there, I think he's going to panic a little bit is what I think. But
you need to make him panic. I don't need you to be a shotgun, Brian. I need you to be a Swiss Army knife. I need all the weapons that you can think of, including a can opener, everything, because we can't have this big build up and then Brandon ruins arm wrestling again.
No, look, I want Brandon to bring everything. And I think he truly is.
He will. He will. Brandon's a competitive beast. We love him.
Well, the last thing that I want from him is I don't want him to lay down, right? Like I want him to come at me with everything he's got and bring it, right? Because that's at the end of the day, I'm a very competitive human being, and I want that, right? Like I would lose a lot of respect for Brandon if he just came in and laid down, and that's not who I am.
Not Brandon.
And he's not going to do it. So it's like I know he's going to be. It's going to be a fun match, and our talking is going to intensify. I think it's one of those things that I think is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun for people to watch. I think I think depending on where we go, it's either, me completely running over him, or if he has some, if he gets a little tricky and I have to kind of solve the puzzle, then it could get interesting. But, I think that I've trained well. I feel like in any position that we go, I'm comfortable with what I need to do and what I need to execute on. And so, whether we stay out of a strap or we go in a strap, I'm comfortable with either one of those. And it's going to be good, man. So.
Out of strap, Brian. Stay out of strap. He was struggling the Kings without a strap. He's got nothing to hold on to. I love Brandon. I love you, Jenny. You beautiful baby girl. But shit, I can't have you winning, Brandon. I can't. We've got someone helping us out, Brandon. He's like the worst villain of arm wrestling at the moment. Well, not the worst, but you know what I mean. I'm looking forward to the match. We'll get to some comments, and then we're going to fly back into it, including from my man, Dung Tai. Welcome to Arm Wrestling, Brian. We're honored to have you among us. Will you have collectible trading cards for next year's Shore Classic for arm wrestling?
I think that's something we will definitely consider. We've had a few people ask about that, and the cards are people don't realize how hard those are to do. Because you got to get the shot and you got to get the design done, and they have to be done well in advance. So you obviously have to pick the athletes and have them ready to go. But I mean, it's answer is it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if not done, you've bought both of my sets of trading cards. So, mate, just keep buying my trading cards if you're not getting any Shore Classic.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you very much, Dung. John Milne is in the chat. Everyone's having a chat with Neil Pickup in the chat. Nate Dogg's in there and says, Brian, you are what arm wrestling needs right now. You are helping glue things together, not tear them apart. I'm so proud of you.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I feel like this person would hug you from the waist and just like, no, it's a very nice thing to say. There's nothing but, thank you very much for the super chat, Nate Dogg, but there's just nothing but love, nothing but love in the chat for you. Neil's is on there. It's going good. Yeah, everyone's in there. Super chat here from Clarissa says, being yourself is your strength. Don't change. Yeah, you've got to love it. Everyone's in there. Thank you very much. Arm Wrestling Store. All right, we've caught up. We'll get to some questions a little bit later on, guys. Just want to get through a few more things. But please, because 4 p.m. MST, I believe the press conference is going to be with the athletes. Is that right, Brian? And then 6:30 kickoff on the Friday?
So we're going to go, I think the press conference actually kicks off at 5.
At 5.
Yeah, I should check we put out that schedule. Let me just double check it real quick.
Yeah, I thought I had it on my thing. I did have it on my phone somewhere, but so make sure you do buy the pay-per-view, because there's 9 incredible matches, and I'm going to speak to Brian about it in a moment. It's going to be the crowd, the setup. I mean, it is going to be electric. I'm really looking forward to this because we've had it pretty good for the last few years, everyone. And now Brian's coming in and he's bringing something from his arena, from his era. I mean, it's going to be quite amazing how it comes. And have you got the time there, Brian?
Let me, I'm sending a message because I'm not finding it. I'm sorry. I should literally know that.
Oh, mate, with 10 million other things that you got going on, I've got the schedule here, mate. So Shore Classic opens Then Devon, Neal, and Ray at 10 a.m. MST will have a chat. Then 12 p.m. is the arm wrestling tournament. Oh no, Blue Arena. I was looking at the wrong one. 4 p.m. Strongest Man on Earth VIP athlete press conference, and then 6:30 p.m. MST.
So the arm wrestling is actually on the Thursday. So it's on the Thursday. I think you're reading Friday's schedule. So it'd be Thursday at 5 p.m. MST, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you're looking at the press conference for the Strongest Man on Earth, I think.
So I was going to say, because when I was looking at this, I was looking at this one, I was like, having a press conference like an hour beforehand?
No. Yeah, it's a day before.
Yeah,
yep.
Okay. So there you go. Press conference is on the Thursday. Athletes and the event is on the Friday. And for all of you people that are like, especially in like Europe, it's like, it starts at 2 a.m. That's how I feel for every single event. So harden up. Stop being crybabies. Set your alarm and watch an amazing event because it's going to be killer. It's at a nice time for me, like 10:15 in the morning for me. So I'm pretty happy with that. So not too bad. A quick chat here, Brian, the great American badass. Sure. Thanks for all the great years in Strongman. Ecstatic to get to watch you succeed in arm wrestling. The Strongman fans always got your six, brother.
Appreciate that. That's really awesome.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Now, so thank you very much, my man, for the support and the kind words. Now, we'll get to how the arena looks in a moment, but my question to you is, how will the new eyes on the sport, the Strongman fans, think of Matt Mask on the table and Devon on the table? How do you think they'll adapt to that? In my opinion, they'll love Matt Mask, kicking and screaming and things like that. And I think they'll warm to Devon. I think they'll be like, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, no, that's all right.
So what I will say is I'm very much wanting to make it as understandable as we possibly that are there both in person and on the live stream, because the goal is with this is obviously to have hardcore arm wrestling fans. Like, obviously they're going to be there. That's what the goal is, for them to be there. If we can get to new eyes, right? Like if we can get to a new fan base, maybe people coming over for Strongman that don't really understand what's going on with arm wrestling, what the rules are, how the matches go, like all of this type of stuff. But if we can just get them in the door, get them in a seat, get them on the live stream, if we can explain and do a better job of explaining to them what's happening so they understand, maybe in a setup, what are the athletes looking for in the setup, and what is the referee doing, and how is this going down? So there's a couple things that we're going to actually do that I think will be very good for the viewers. So I don't know about you, but I've definitely watched some arm wrestling live streams where there's a call made and the commentators don't know what the call is, the fans don't know what the call is. So the commentators are kind of flying blind, and they're like, maybe it was an elbow foul, maybe it was a false start, maybe, like, we don't know, right? But it's so that, but the referees know because they made the call. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to put a microphone on the stage, and so when a foul is called, not a warning, but if you have a foul called, the referee is going to say to the crowd what the foul was, and then if we have any type of protest, the way that that's going to be handled is we're actually going to have a flag in each corner, right? So in each corner, there will be a flag that the corner gets. And if you have a protest, you will get to protest one time, right?
Yes.
So you pick and choose when you walk up. The protocol is going to be, you're going to set the flag on the table. At that point, the referees, we're going to have a referee in front of a monitor already watching the match. Then they're going to walk over. They're going to have their meeting. They're going to then make their call back. If you win your protest, you keep your flag, right? But if you lose it, you're done. So if it's in round one and you decide to protest an elbow foul or a pin or something, now you don't get to protest anymore. So it'll keep the matches moving forward. And so you won't have an athlete. They're going to be much more strategic about when they protest potentially. Now, with that being said, the referees at any point, if they want to look back at a call, the referees are allowed to do that. So if there's something that's like, hey, I wasn't quite sure if I saw that or whatever, I want to just see it back. The referees are allowed to do whatever they want. But I think that if we can communicate via that microphone with the audience, everybody's going to understand if there was a foul, what the foul was, because even the signals, right? Some of the signals, hardcore fans understand what it is. New people won't understand what a hand signal was for an elbow foul or something like that. So we're just going to try to, I'm going to say over communicate, but even if somebody understands what it is, it won't need to be that. But if you watch a football game, like if you watch any
or in basketball, it happens there in the NBA.
Yeah, the referees, like especially if there's a call they're reviewing, they walk back and turn on their microphone and they say it to the whole crowd. Hey, it was pass interference, or we had an offsides or whatever, right? But at least everybody knows at that moment what happened and everybody's engaged in what's going on. So I think I'm excited about that. And again, the main goal with that is to get the new faces and new people that are there to understand exactly what's going on. Because when you understand what's going on, you're more engaged, right? Like if you don't know what's happening and it's like, well, I see that they put their hand down here like this. What did that mean? I have no idea what that means. Yeah. So we got to let them know and almost educate them as we're going a little bit. And I don't think anybody that's watching that's a high-level arm wrestling fan, I don't think they're going to be annoyed if they hear, hey, we had an elbow foul over here, or we had a false start, whatever. They're not going to care. So I think it'll be good.
Mate, it'll be the two things. One, it's going to be amazing. And two, Brian Shaw just admitted he's a fan of the Aussie arm wrestler, because those that have been following the show know what you have said. I have been screaming for years, Brian. And I think I have. And I think because a lot of people, and this is no disrespect to arm wrestling, but a lot of people that get into arm wrestling just watch arm wrestling and they just like arm wrestling. You played college basketball. I'm a huge sports lover. I played a bit of basketball myself, but I watch all sports and things like that. So we're bringing other sports over. So what makes perfect sense to you and I is new to the arm wrestling world. So for sitting there, I've been saying you get one challenge, and if you keep it, if you're successful, you get it. Good, we keep it moving. And then for them to sit there and press their microphone, well, we've come to a decision, and it's actually an elbow foul on Brandon Allen because we don't like him and we don't want him to ruin arm wrestling again. Thank you very much. Get a haircut, Brandon, you big piece of shit. Obviously, the referees won't say that, but no, it's great. And absolutely, because even now, like when you're saying over-communicated, down the bottom of this live stream, the whole time, it says, buy the pay-per-view, link in the description. And the amount of comments I've seen during the stream that says, where can I buy the pay-per-view? It's literally been written down here the whole 45 minutes. So there's nothing wrong with over-communicating, Brian. I think you've absolutely nailed it on the head. Now, a couple of questions going in the chat. Just quickly. Is it a separate pay-per-view for arm wrestling and strongman?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Second, talk to me about this arena. Talk to me about the positioning, because for one thing for me, I love seeing fans lose their shit. Going banana. That was the one gripe I had about King of the Table, is they're very respectful in Dubai and they just sit there quietly, and it's like, Well, if I've just paid $30, $20 for a pay-per-view and the people there aren't excited, why should I be excited? So talk to us about Blue Arena.
So the arena is going to be awesome. And you know, with the way that it's set up, it's a bowl of seating. So you're going to have seats kind of all the way around. And then also it's stadium seating. So we will have floor seats. So you'll be right up in the action with the floor seats. And then as it goes up, each row gets higher. So the awesome thing, in my opinion, is if you're kind of in the middle of the crowd, you can still see your vantage point, your viewpoint is going to be down on the arm wrestling table. So you can see exactly what's happening. And I think that at least some of the events that I've been to, it's done where all the seating is on the same level, right? So you're not necessarily, if you're in the middle or toward the back, the likelihood of you being able to have a great viewpoint without looking at the screens or something is tough. It's just a tough thing to do. So I think that the arena and then the athletes themselves, I think the energy, and this is what's happened with the strongman side, is the crowd, once they start going crazy, the energy you feel as an athlete is just unreal, right? So the more the crowd gets into it, the more animated the athletes are going to get, the more they're going to want to perform, and the more fun that everybody's going to have. And so I think that the energy is going to be there. People are going to be hyped up. I mean, the show is going to be incredible. So it's just being in the arena. And I will say this with the strongman side, it'll be the same with the arm wrestling. Being in the crowd is where you want to be if you can, because there's nothing like, you get to feel the energy and the experience is different. And it's just like everything is happening right in front of you. And so, you know, being in the crowd is number one. The live stream, again, we need to bring through the energy on the live stream as well, right? And so that's I think exactly what the goal is. I think it's, if people can't travel, which obviously a lot of people can't, that's what the live stream is there for. And you know, like I said, I'm super confident in the team that we have there. They're high-level professionals, and you know, the replays are going to be on point. Everything's going to be on point. Like it's you know, literally we have a production truck there with people manning all of these different things. So it's gonna be awesome, right? So the arena setting, I'm excited to just see what the fans think and you know how they experience that, but also the athletes too, right? Because having people kind of like right around you, on top of you,
the only way to have it
would be good. Yeah.
It's sorry, Brian, I've got to take this call. Hello, Common Sense Police. Yes, we have a culprit here. Yeah, I'll get you Brian Shaw's up. Yeah, you can't come into arm wrestling with all that common sense. Yeah, okay, I'll get you Brian's address. We'll arrest him, mate. It's just simple. It's just simple. It's yeah, stuff I've been. You know, when you bang your head against the wall enough, and then you start to think you're the crazy one, and then you've come in and just saying stuff. I think it's going to be electric. I just don't understand. I get when people are loyal to a certain person, which is a bit silly, but it just makes common sense with these matches and just the arena alone. Like, people are going to roll in, and when you're walking past somewhere and everyone's screaming because Matt Mask has stopped their feet, or Eddie Hall is on the table ready to go, or you've got, you know, Derek and Saray, two blokes the same size as Brian Shaw, but arm wrestle, you know, it just is going to be electric, guys. And I just beg and I plead, you know, we love arm wrestling. We're not really getting many events, and it's only been 4 weeks or 5 weeks in Chicago. This is the perfect event to see the changes. And if you don't like it after this event, shit, then I wave the white flag and say, no worries, we got it wrong with Brian. But this is the ultimate reason to buy it. It's going to move along quickly, and then when you're watching it and the crowd are losing their mind, I mean, it can't be, it is just out of control. Guys, we've only got about 10 minutes left. I've got a couple of questions for Brian, and then we will sit in there and get your questions. But there's a couple of things here. It says Blue Arena can fit 7,000, so probably 2,000, 3,000 arm wrestling fans at the venue could be realistic. So my thing is, I personally probably don't want too many arm wrestling fans in there. I want all of the people that are supporting Brian Shaw to go in, because we know how exciting arm wrestling can be. Us lunatics, us people that have been watching it for years. But I want the people that are there to see Brian, see Eddie, and they just go, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
I think it's going to be awesome, man. It really, really is. I think, just support across the board, right? Like, I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what we've had with Strongman. And there's people that, now travel, like I said, quite literally travel from around the world, and come, and it's all built on the back of, we take care of the athletes and we take care of the fans. We try to give them a great experience. So, making a trip, again, with the expo, we run a full expo. That's where the arm wrestling tournament's going to be, for example. We got all the expo booths. That's free to the public to go into. So, getting to come out is crazy. So if you're thinking about it, if you're not sure, right, just check that out. But it's a great trip. And also the area, Loveland, Colorado, there's a lot of different stuff to do. You're right by the mountains. Like, if you want to make a vacation or whatever, like, it's a fun area to do things. So I think that anybody that comes hopefully won't be disappointed at all.
Yeah, it just fathoms me. After speaking to you now, I just don't know how this can happen. Like, how people won't get on board. Like, even those that are full loyal to the other side, I can't imagine that you haven't won them over. It's just ridiculous how good this is going to be. That's madness. Right. Levan Fears Shaw, thank you for the super chat. It says, Brian, please don't give up on arm wrestling. We need you in the sport. You are the future of arm wrestling. Hey. Lovely.
I'm not giving up on it, for sure. I mean, it's like quite literally something I'm doing every single day now. So it's not like, it's this event, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Like, I think that there's been some people saying, like, hey, if I have a horrible experience and whatever with the way that this goes down, that I'll walk away. It's not, it's not that. And, the mentality, and, naturally with me going against Brandon Allen, I think there's going to be some comparisons with Larry Wheels, but I don't think that you can put my name and Larry Wheels' name in the same sentence, right? Like, I'm a different animal than Larry Wheels. So,
6'8", 180 kilos. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like, I don't jump around from thing to thing to thing. Like, this is something that I've been very dedicated to. And I just think I have a different competitive spot that I go in my head that a lot of people don't understand. And so it's, I'm actively putting a lot of work into this, and it's a challenge for me, which I like even more. So
I think the one thing that impresses me, Brian, with your mentality, and I highly respect it, it's not your back-to-back wins at the World's Strongest Man. That's incredible. Don't get me wrong. It's the fact that you won in 2011, I believe, didn't win in 2012, and then won again in 2013. Most people win the World's Strongest Man, and that can be it. And they're happy to ride off the sunset. And you won, and you didn't win, and then you won, and then you didn't win, and then you went back to back. And it's just like, I'm not messing with you. Bloke can throw me 10 meters in the air. I think he's got a pretty good mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of ups and downs, for sure. And you have to deal with adversity without a doubt. So.
This guy's bought the pay-per-view twice to try and get his friends there, which is good. Carl Becker, thank you very much. Good luck with your match, Brian. I'll be picking up a couple of pay-per-views. It's going to be awesome. I mean, people are buying more than one pay-per-view, Brian. You're doing some good things. I
mean, that the thing is the support already, again, it's so awesome, right? Like, people supporting it already, and a lot of the comments, and I've tried to pay attention to as much as I can pay attention, but it's great. This is what it's all about. And, like, for those people, if we can deliver for those people, that means a lot to me, right? Like it's I want them to have a good time, and you know, all of it takes effort, right? Like, so for people, and this is what I think with our business, the same thing, right? If somebody's going to go onto our website, spend their hard-earned money to buy something, I want them to be taken care of. And it's the same with this event, whether they're buying a ticket to be in person, they're buying the live stream. To me, that's amazing, because they're willing to support, right? And so I'm not going to take that for granted. Even, you know, it's like, okay, well, this one person bought it. Well, in my mind, I have to deliver for that one person. I need to perform 100%. For that one person, right? Like there's a lot of people, hopefully, that'll be tuning in to this, for example. And I thought the same thing when I was competing in strongman, right? There's somebody in the audience that has never seen Brian Shaw compete. There's somebody here, right? And if I don't go lay it out and give everything and be the best that I can be, they're going to walk away and say, well, yeah, I watched Brian, he wasn't that good, or, you know, whatever. Same deal here, right? Like I understand I'm getting better, and I will continue to get a lot better with arm wrestling too, right? I think I've leveled up majorly, even in the last few months for this match. But, you know, it's me putting that hard work on display for people too, to show them what I'm all about and what I'm made of. And so, you know, it's your track record can be one thing, but I think it's, you know, not resting on that so much. It's moving forward and being the best that you can be. So, you know, we got to put our best foot forward. That's what I'm trying so desperately to do with everything, right? Every detail with the strongman, every detail with this whole weekend. You know, I think the work that goes in, like my wife and I, that how much we put in, and you know, members of our team do the same. It's just like there's a lot. It's not a huge team of people that do this. I think sometimes people get confused and they're like, "Oh yeah, Brian just sits in his office and tells people what to do."
Subscribers, he just pays a mountain of people.
No, man, last weekend I was out filling up kegs for the keg toss, and you know, like I'm doing it, right? Like I'm doing all of the stuff. On Monday, I'm going to start moving equipment to get up there, right? Like I don't have a team that just does everything.
Stop making us love you more, Brian. Stop it. Stop it.
But just so Brandon knows, man, I probably will not do a lot of lifting with the equipment. I'll use the forklift quite a bit. Like normally I might just lift stuff up and move it. I'll use the forklift. I'll save my arm for him. It'll be special for Friday. So
can you just quickly, a couple of things in a quick Q&A. When you beat Brandon, can you like toss him over the stage after you've won? Can you just like launch him and beautiful there? But obviously your match, Brian. What's the because we haven't got much time. What's the one match the one match as an arm wrestling fan that's happening at the Shore Classic? What's the one match where you're like, everyone leave me alone, I want to watch?
Boy, that's a tough question. Really tough question, actually. I'm very interested in Alex and Devin Left Hand. I mean, that was a brutal match, and I saw Devin up close, like how much that took out of him. Same thing with Alex, right? Like it was a war for sure. And I think that one, I'm super interested to see how that goes down, what they potentially both picked up from that match. I think Todd and Dave is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That is going to be a very, very good one. I think, Todd right now is pretty ridiculous. So it's like, I don't understand Dave's cutting down, a little bit to make the weight, and Todd can walk in and be comfortable. He's strong right now, man. So I think both of those guys, that's going to be a good one. And then I would say on the more, I'm going to call it like the strongman side, I think Eddie Hall and Robert Oberst is going to be, I think it's number one, it's going to be super entertaining, but also from an arm wrestling perspective, I think that's going to be a good one. I think it's actually going to be better than potentially a lot of people think, especially if Oberst has actually been doing the training that he says he's doing every week for it. I think he's been saving a lot, and I think he would love nothing more than to beat Eddie Hall in that. And the talking will not stop then, for sure. But I think him, and I think Lawrence and Martins, actually, Martins Lises and Lawrence Chalet. I think that with that one, experience to Lawrence, Martins he's actually, I think he's actually arm wrestled more than he wants people to believe. He's done a lot. He was in Georgia with Levon doing some stuff, and he did some stuff in China. And so he's not unfamiliar with it, and has done more than I think people think he's done. So I think that one could be interesting. But I mean, if you break down every match, there's a lot of awesome, just kind of top to bottom, Matt Mask, like you said, man, that one's going to be an interesting one. With Philip there, and how that goes, obviously size advantage, Matt, technical advantage, like they're both probably about the same height, but I think that's a fun one too, man. I mean,
absolutely.
If Matt lights up, that's going to be, it'll be I'm just going to, here's the thing is, outside of my match, I'm just going to be a fan, right? Like, okay, maybe not 100% just a fan. I'm going to make sure the show is going, but I'm gonna take a deep breath and try to enjoy like the awesome performances too, because I think that there's going to be a lot of them. So
beautiful. Right, we'll get to some super chats, some questions. We've also got a word association game, and then we can wrap up because Brian is so busy. So we're lucky to get this here. This one from Mr. Oliver says, there is no substitute for hard work. Talent helps, but effort is everything. This is going to be great for the sport. Thank you.
Big time, for sure.
John Augustin says, greetings, Ozzy and Brian. Just wanted to hop on and say massive thank you, Brian, for making this event happen and for helping to propel the sport to new levels. Will there be future Strongest Arm on Earth events? Be great.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the original thinking with starting that, and I mean, where it was going to go, I don't know, right? It was just like this one event. We're going to see how we can do with that. And, again, I think you kind of touched on this earlier. Number one, you've got to prove it, right? Like, you got to prove it to people. You got to prove it to the athletes. And I think that the question marks, if there were question marks about me and my intentions and, coming into the sport, I think, naturally there's going to be people on the fence about me and, hey, I haven't arm wrestled that long and I'm very new to it and this type of thing. And now I'm putting on an event or it's just, I saw the opportunity. I met a lot of people in the sport, athletes and fans, people that do it. And I was like, hey, this is a good opportunity to try to give back. And we've already got the Shaw Classic going. So it's something that we can add on that hopefully could be awesome. And so that's really what it was about. It's not, and as people will know, with me, it's not about me. And with the strongman, same thing. Like, people don't realize that I competed in the Shaw Classic and then Strongest Man on Earth, but I never took any prize money ever, right? And it just like the last year, I think the top prize was around $100,000. So I gave that back to all the other competitors, and so, but that was just what I did, right? And in all fairness, like with this event coming in, I'm also not being paid for my super match, right? Like I agreed to.
Oh, welcome to Arm Wrestling, Brian.
Yeah. I mean, I just
but just shows the class of you, mate. Just shows the class. It is ridiculous. I'll tell you one guy you need to have at the Strongest Arm on Earth, James Wall from the UK.
Yeah,
gun.
Yes,
gun. Absolute gun. Get him on there. Just a couple more. On behalf of the arm wrestling community, I apologize for the way European crabs in a bucket have behaved. Thank you for being the adult in the room. Thank you very much, music guy. Late to the show, a big thank you, Brian, for all the work you're putting this together. Bought the pay-per-view. Excited.
Awesome.
Right, Brian. Word association. I'm going to give you, I mean, we could talk for hours, but I'm going to just give you a few names, one word to describe them.
One word.
One word. Here we go. Devin Larratt.
Unique.
Levan.
Dominant.
Brandon Allen. Bitch. Brandon.
No.
Brandon. Bitch. Brandon, you're a bitch.
Overconfident.
Oh, okay. You are. It is your event, so if you want to use 2 words, that's where we go.
That is 2 words. You called me on it. I'm Brandon Allen. Man, I would say, what's a good word for Brandon Allen?
Weak.
That's actually very good. Weak, and that could apply to hand, wrist, other things. Yes.
Right, just a few more. Vitali.
What's a good word for Vitali? I'm going to say explosive.
Explosive. Erdemes.
Technical.
And I can't help myself. Last one. Engen.
So I've only messaged Engen a couple times, and I've never had a personal interaction with him other than a call. So I don't know a good word for him.
Okay.
I genuinely don't know. I don't feel like I have enough information to give a word.
Okay. That's all right. I'll take that. Right. Some quick fire questions. Just shoot them off. First thing comes to your mind. Do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Super matches.
Do you like basketball or football better?
Basketball.
Yeah, I thought that one. Strap or no strap?
Ooh. Oh. I would say if I had to choose, probably strap.
Okay.
But I really like both, and I like the hand component of not having a strap. So you're making me choose, though. So
the best person that has trained you on the table in your short time in arm wrestling.
Neil Pickup's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rate that. Would you rather beat Thor's world record deadlift by 20 kilos or pin Levan?
Right now, pin Levan for sure.
Okay.
I've no interest in the deadlift. So
yeah. What was your favorite event? Card deadlift or Atlas Stone?
Ooh, I liked both of those. Atlas Stone probably.
Okay. What's it like pulling a plane?
So here's what it's like. You walk up and the plane is ridiculous big, right? So you have to have the supreme confidence that you can make it move. And you jump on it hard, and the first step is the best because you actually know that it's moving a little bit, and then you just keep it going. So it's it's kind of surreal, to be fair. Like the first time I ever pulled a plane was something else.
There you go. Last one before we quickly go to the chat. Are you the first person everyone calls when someone's moving house?
I've been asked a lot. I have been asked a lot.
Yeah, I wonder why. It's like, yeah, Brian, we're just moving, 15 miles down the road, and you just put the couch over there. Yeah, absolutely. Or can you carry this down the stairs, Brian? Yeah, sure. And then people pretend they're on the other end.
Yeah, but not exactly. Yeah.
You just launch it. A quick one here from Benji Mac. Overconfident is one word, brah. Well, I'm if I share the screen here.
Are we going to check that?
Absolutely. Is overconfident one word? No. Overconfident is not one word.
Okay, so you were right. There we go.
It should be written as one word. No, I love it. I love when everyone gets stuck into me there. Right. Any final questions from everyone? Just quickly, What will you be weighing in on the day?
I think I'll probably be about 385, 390 in pounds. So like 100 and what is that?
175 or something, 176
yeah,
kilos.
175 is 385. Yeah, somewhere in there. 177, 178. Yeah.
Just quickly, any side bets going on with Brandon?
We don't have any. We don't have any as of now. No.
Loser gets a haircut, I reckon, which would be great. Any other questions? Stop arguing with me over the word overconfidence. Oh, here we go. Brian, can you fit in roller coasters?
No. It's not a good choice. That's not a good choice. Yeah.
Will Brian compete in both arms in the future?
Potentially, yes. I mean, I'm been super focused on the right, but I do arm wrestle on the left for sure.
Will Brian ever be a King's Move arm wrestler?
I don't know. I mean, I depending on the position, I think I have the ability potentially. Like I've kind of got caught there in practice a little bit, but it's not like a full on King's Move. But I don't really want to go there. I think it's kind of a ugly way to arm wrestle. But out of necessity, I think some guys have to do it, but I don't think it, for me at least, it's like, I don't really like the way it looks. So
there you go. And if you can, in just a short sentence, Brian, why should we buy the pay-per-view? Like the 400 people here, I know you've got 400 pay-per-views going to be bought from everyone that's live in this chat. But for the people that watch this later, that are on the other side of the fence, why should we buy the pay-per-view?
Well, first and foremost, number one, to support the event, support the athletes, support what we're trying to do, and to be entertained, right? Like that's, you're buying something, but hopefully it's amazing entertainment. You're super satisfied with the product. And that's what we're working so hard on now behind the scenes to deliver that. And I'm confident, very confident that we'll deliver that and that, people will be happy. So, you're going to have hours of awesome entertainment and a super high quality pay-per-view if you do buy it.
There you go. You've heard it from the man himself. It's all going down August 15th, 6:30 p.m. MST. The strongest arm on earth collaborating with East versus West. You're getting 9 mega super matches. Some of your favorite arm wrestlers and some of your favorite former strongmen going head to head. It's going to be a cracker event. I can't wait to watch it. Brian, mate, as we wrap up, thank you so much for coming on the show. It is greatly appreciated.
100%, man. That was fun. I feel like we just got started. We could keep going, but.
Oh, mate, I had, before I press end stream, so everyone doesn't miss out, I had a billion questions. We could have gone for hours, but I am aware time is the most expensive thing in the world, and I didn't want to take up too much of it.
No, that's great, man. I appreciate it. And, you trying to help out with the promotion is greatly appreciated too, man. So we're going to make it awesome. We're in the final countdown now. It's right around the corner, so it's coming.
10 days, everyone. Buy your pay-per-view. And then